The only thing that could jeopardize Falcon Crest unity would be
Hello there. Did you know that one of television's most iconic soap operas of the 80s was housing stories far deeper and more complicated than what we saw on our screens back then? To be honest, Falcon Crest was not just about Angela Channing leading the pack with a glass of wine in one hand and a weird scheme in her heart. If you watched the show, you'd agree that it was full of numerous twists. Some moments were funny, some were baffling, and a few left you wondering how the show managed to last for 9 complete seasons. Here are 20 strange facts about the show that might make you want to watch Falcon Crest one more time. Number 20. Wyman and Lona Turner had a beef in reality. Does that sound weird? Or did you have a feeling that there was more to the on-screen enmity between Jane Wyman and Lana Turner? If you watched the show, I'm pretty sure you believe that since it was acting, the enmity between Angela Channing and Lana Turner was part of the script, because after all, it was just a show, right? Sorry to burst your bubble, but that enmity was more than what the scriptwriters, producers, and directors made us believe. Maybe that was why Angela Channing was unapologetically sassy and cold towards Lana. It was all natural. According to the reports, their troubles stemmed from having very different personalities and a history that began long before they worked together as a cast on Falcon Crest. Reportedly, Jane and Lana were both famous in their worlds and were used to being the cynosure of all eyes in a film, so having to share that position was not easy for them. For Jane, sharing that leading role was equivalent to forcing a biological child who grew up with both parents to share an inheritance with an adopted child, a stranger picked up from an orphanage or somewhere. Now, to most kids who have a problem sharing, that'll be hard and almost impossible, don't you agree? So in this case, sharing that spotlight was not easy for either of them. Lana came in as a guest actor, and Jane felt she came to steal her show and turn the hearts of her fans away. But in reality, that was not true. Everything that happened on that show was scripted and discussed by the production team members. As time went on, people on set began noticing the tension between the two characters. From small arguments about where to stand, to how to sit correctly on camera, to how to say a line, everything between them felt awkward. However, even with their differences, Wyman and Turner unbelievably stayed professional. They never used cuss words on each other, nor did they ruin a scene or pull each other's hair in a fight. Number 19. Wyman had known Lana since babyhood. Did you ever think Angela Channing and Lance Cumson had such believable chemistry because the actors were secretly old friends? Well, surprise. Jane Wyman had known Lorenzo Lamas since he was still in diapers. And no, that is not just a figure of speech. Long before Falcon Crest's Napa Valley drama, Wyman was close friends with Lorenzo's famous parents, actor Fernando Lamas and actress Arlene Dahl. In fact, Wyman and Fernando Lamas had worked together way back in 1955 on her anthology series, Jane Wyman Presents Fireside Theater. So when little Lorenzo came along, she was already part of the extended Hollywood family that watched him grow up. Imagine your babysitter from decades ago suddenly becoming your on-screen grandmother and then bossing you around in front of millions of viewers. By the time Falcon Crest began, Lorenzo was all grown up and ready to bring his flair to the role of the charming yet troublesome Lance. Wyman, having known him practically forever, was able to mix real affection with the sharp-tongued authority that Angela Channing was famous for. It made their scenes pop in a way that went beyond acting. Of course, this long history also meant that Wyman could tease him without mercy on set. After all, how many co-stars can say they knew you back when your most significant role was a baby in the bassinet? That may be why Lorenzo's always smirking in their scenes. He probably knew she had a lifetime of embarrassing stories she could unleash at any moment. That is what you call built-in chemistry. No, I'll leave you to it. Next. Number 18. Melissa could actually sing. Did you know Melissa could sing despite all the wine feuds and theatrical looks? It's true that Melissa, who can ignite a grape war with a single glance, could also hold a song that could stop you cold. Startled? Not really. The actress who played the part, Ana Alicia, reportedly had experience with music because she had a background in performing arts, which included a voice that would have been at home in a music studio or on stage before she started causing trouble in Falcon Crest's fictional Tuscany Valley. Imagine her delivering one of Melissa's famously ferocious speeches and then seamlessly transitioning into a stunning melody. The cast and crew knew Ana Alicia had the pipes, even though she was rarely allowed to showcase this aspect of her skill on the show. Interestingly, she occasionally sang in between takes on set, which brought a little unexpected melody to the otherwise harsh politics of the vineyard. You can practically see it. Jane Wyman getting ready for another withering Angela Channing gaze, the camera team putting up a scenario, and Melissa's voice drifting through the air in the corner like an unintentional soundtrack. It is a shame the producers never worked her singing into the plot. Just imagine Melissa hosting a glamorous winery gala, glass of champagne in hand, stepping up to the microphone to deliver both a perfect ballad and a perfectly timed insult. Now that would have been a scene worth toasting. Next, number 17, Real Mansion, Real Wine. Would you believe me if I told you that the beautiful mansion with rolling vineyards on Falcon Crest wasn't just Hollywood trickery but exists? Of course, the grand home of Angela Channing was not a cardboard set on a soundstage. It was an actual mansion, sitting proudly in the heart of California wine country, with real wine flowing from the surrounding vineyards. Spring Mountain in Napa Valley was the estate used for filming, and it was undoubtedly a fantastic location. Unbelievably, the cast wasn't faking to smell grapevines in the distance when they walked across those bright courtyards or looked out the second-story windows, because it was there and it smelled authentic. Jane Wyman could almost be seen giving one of Angela's scathing remarks while secretly wishing she could pack a bottle in her bag for later. The team often accommodated the estate's busy schedule because filming and the vineyard's wine activities coexisted. Stories of harvesters silently carrying fruit baskets, cameras rolling, and equipment vehicles positioned with care between rows of grapevines abound. This genuineness enhanced the show's realism and richness for viewers. The very sweeping shot of the mansion or vineyard felt like an open invitation to step into a world of wealth, rivalry, and family drama. It's almost unfortunate that there was never a scene in the series where the characters prepared the wine themselves. Imagine Angela, Chase, and Melissa in aprons, stomping grapes and exchanging icy stares between squishes. That would have been a vintage episode worth bottling. Next, number 16, Jane Wyman's presidential pay gap. What do you get when a TV star out-earns a former president? Jane Wyman, the iron-fisted Angela Channing of Falcon Crest, came pretty close. She was not just starring in one of the era's most popular shows. She was also cashing in on a salary that put even the commander-in-chief to shame. By the end of season 5, Wyman was reportedly earning a staggering $1.6 million a year from Falcon Crest. Some sources even place her earnings higher, at up to $3 million annually. Considering a president at the time made around $200,000 a year plus free housing, it is safe to say Angela Channing had the upper hand in the paycheck department. The irony is delicious. The woman playing wine country royalty was earning a rate that could outshine the White House. Her ex-husband, Republican Ronald Reagan, was busy running the country while Wyman was quietly becoming Hollywood's soap opera queen. It is almost poetic justice that the matriarch of Falcon Crest was worth more than the first husband. Remarkably, Wyman's victory was not just financial. Her presence commanded screens, and she delivered power and drama episode after episode. She turned vineyard tyrants into television legends, proving that royalty does not need a title. It only requires the correct script and a paycheck that makes the Oval Office blush. Next, number 15, Barbara's recommendation for Angela Channing. You may be surprised to learn that Angela Channing's voice and face were nearly entirely different. Initially, the iconic matriarch of Falcon Crest was offered to Hollywood legend Barbara Stanwyck. Now that's a shocker, am I right? The woman who ruled the silver screen in countless classics could have been ruling the vineyards of Tuscany Valley. The image is tempting. However, it never happened. According to history, Barbara Stanwyck was not just an actress, but a towering figure in Hollywood, known for her commanding presence and cool sophistication. When producers approached her for the role, she reportedly gave thoughtful recommendations on how Angela Channing should be portrayed. Notably, she suggested that the character should carry a sense of quiet authority rather than overt flamboyance, and that Angela's power should be rooted in strategy as much as in wealth. And to be honest, these insights showed that she already understood Angela's core, even before a single scene was filmed. In the end, Barbara turned the part down, leaving the door open for Jane Wyman. And what a turn of events that was. Uniquely, Wyman introduced a different kind of strength to Angela. Her character was very calculated, fiercely intelligent, and unafraid to wield her influence like a finely sharpened blade. While Barbara brought an air of Hollywood elegance, Wyman brought determination and a more understated menace. Then, with these two exceptional qualities, Angela Channing's character was born. It is intriguing to think about how Falcon Crest might have looked with Barbara at the helm of the Channing Empire. Would the character have been softer in her delivery, but equally devastating in her power moves? Would the Vineyard feuds have felt more like chess matches than all-out wars? If you watched the show, you'd agree with me that Jane Wyman effortlessly made Angela Channing's character unforgettable. She took a role that might have gone in a completely different direction and infused it with her personality and style, all thanks to Barbara's recommendations. And though Barbara's ideas may have shaped the early concept, it was Wyman who made Angela a legend. And for that, television history is richer. Next, number 14, The Compromise. Imagine being such a force on set that when you are unhappy with the storyline, the writers literally put you to sleep just to ensure that your character remains. That is precisely what happened to Jane Wyman during the 9th season of Falcon Crest. For years, Wyman had carried the show as Angela Channing, a character so sharp she could cut glass with a glance. But behind the scenes, the actress was reportedly unhappy with the new direction the writers and producers were taking. Coupled with some health issues, her dissatisfaction almost reached a point where she refused to play certain scenes altogether. Rather than push through and fake enthusiasm, Wyman asked to be released from her contract. But the producers were not ready to replace or lose Wyman, especially not in the concluding episodes. So, to salvage the situation, they came up with an extraordinary and unexpected solution. Instead of writing Angela Channing out with some dramatic soap opera twist, they decided to put her into a coma. Now that sounds awkward, doesn't it? For episodes on end, Angela lay still while the Vineyards drama played out around her. It was perhaps the quietest performance of Wyman's career, but it kept her in the credits and preserved the possibility of a comeback. That comeback did arrive. When CBS finally decided to cancel Falcon Crest, the showrunners wanted to end the series with its queen front and center. Wyman returned for the final 3 episodes, fully awake and ready to deliver Angela's trademark fire one last time. Next, number 13. The creator wanted something entirely different. Let's go back in time, shall we? In 1981, when Falcon Crest was first aired on TV, it didn't get the kind of reaction Hamner wanted. Viewers were treated to a delicious blend of family feuds, power plays, and vineyard drama. However, if creator Earl Hamner Jr. had stuck to his original plan, the show would have looked nothing like the glossy soap it became. The report revealed that Hamner, best known for creating The Waltons, initially envisioned something far more gentle and reflective. In a nutshell, he wanted a series about the quiet beauty of wine country life, focusing on the land, the grapes, and the traditions of the people who tended them. In Hamner's early concept, the drama would have been understated, with more emphasis on personal journeys than corporate warfare. Think more heartwarming conversations over homemade meals and fewer shouting matches in marble-floored mansions. Angela Channing, if she existed at all, would not have been a scheming power player, but perhaps a dignified family matriarch overseeing her vineyard with kindness rather than an iron will. But the network saw something different and had other ideas. CBS wanted a show to compete directly with Dallas and Dynasty, both of which were dominating the ratings with their flashy wealth scandal and betrayal. So Hamner's vision was reshaped, characters were reimagined, and the tone shifted from pastoral to high stakes. Although the rolling hills and grapevines remained, they were now the scene of boardroom conflicts, covert operations, and power struggles. Coincidentally, Falcon Crest's success was mainly due to this change. Even though Hamner's imagined quiet vineyard drama was endearing, viewers were captivated for 9 seasons by the increased glitz and intrigue. Nevertheless, understanding what might have been gives the history of the show a fascinating new dimension. Somewhere in an alternate universe, Falcon Crest is a slow-burning, heartwarming saga with far fewer broken wine glasses. Next, number 12, Lance could have been someone else. For those who watched Lance's character on Falcon Crest, it is almost impossible to imagine Falcon Crest without Lorenzo Lamas stylishly strolling through the vineyards as Lance Cumpson, with his charm, smirk, and perfectly styled hair, which became a signature part of the show's appeal. But to be honest, in the early casting days, Lance could have been someone entirely different. Due to how amazing Lance's role was, it was highly sought after by a wave of young Hollywood actors who were eager and willing to land a part in what was shaping up to be a major primetime drama. Due to the demands and criteria for the role, producers, in search of nothing but the best, carefully considered a handful of other names, some of whom were already familiar faces from daytime soaps and teen dramas. And trust me when I say the process was cumbersome. Initially, the casting team sought an actor who could balance charm and danger, someone the audience could both root for and mistrust. But it seemed none of the auditioning actors had the qualities the role required. Fortunately, Lorenzo Lamas only came into serious contention after his screen test impressed not only the producers but also Jane Wyman herself, who was earnestly looking for someone who would effortlessly nail the role without too many cuts and actions while on set. By then, Lamas had already proven his on-screen appeal in roles that demanded both good looks and a hint of mischief. His family connections in Hollywood certainly did not hurt either. Once he landed the role, it became clear the producers had made the right choice. His chemistry with the rest of the cast and his ability to walk the line between rebellious heir and loyal family member gave Lance depth beyond what was on the page. Looking back, it is fascinating to imagine what Falcon Crest might have felt and looked like if another actor had been given the role. Would Lance still have been the charismatic troublemaker fans loved, or would the character have faded into the background? We will never know, but Lamas made sure his Lance was unforgettable. He deserved some flowers for the role, don't you think? Next. Number 11, Bill composed the theme song. Falcon Crest had already established the tone with one of the most memorable theme songs of the 80s before a single word of dialogue was exchanged, and composer Bill Conti, whose impressive resume included the iconic theme for Rocky, was responsible for that expansive, dramatic, orchestral piece. Impressively, the series benefited greatly from Conti's ability to compose music that could elicit a feeling right away. When CBS initially approached him, they already had a picture of what they wanted. According to them, they needed a theme that could capture both the grandeur of Napa Valley and the drama of the Channing family. This sounded easy, but wasn't. However, in response to the demand, Conti created something even more special. He composed a work that hinted at the impending power struggles while soaring elegantly and with a hint of tension. Every week, the opening credits, which featured expansive views of vineyards and the majestic Falcon Crest mansion, felt like a mini-movie, mainly because of Conti's music. The theme quickly became a sonic signature for the show. Viewers could hear those first few notes and instantly know they were about to be pulled into a world of wealth, rivalry, and secrets. Conti's work on Falcon Crest also stood out for its richness, a full orchestral sound that was far more cinematic than most television themes of the time. The recognizable song is still hummed by series fans today. It serves as a reminder that music can be just as crucial to narrative as performances or screenplays. Falcon Crest might have lost some of its recognizable characteristics if Bill Conti hadn't helped, don't you agree? Number 10, TV tourism got out of hand. When Falcon Crest started airing, the Napa Valley region wasn't known for its wine, and the show single-handedly turned it into a television landmark. Many viewers who fell in love with the vineyard scenery wanted to see it for themselves. Well, that might sound flattering, but for locals, it quickly became overwhelming. The actual Spring Mountain Vineyard, which was utilized for exterior photography of Angela Channing's estate, started drawing tourists who treated it like a tourist destination. In an attempt to get a look at the filming, some fans would arrive at the gates, others went further, sneaking onto the grounds to take photos or even to picnic on the lawns. The influx of uninvited guests disrupted both the vineyard's wine production and the television crew's schedule. But should we blame these innocent and anxious viewers who were amazed and visited to satisfy their curiosity? Due to the increase, tour buses began adding Falcon Crest stops to their itineraries, and local businesses saw a spike in customers asking for directions to Angela's house. Napa tourism officials had to remind fans that the property was privately owned and not a theme park. Still, the fascination did not fade quickly. In a way, the TV tourism craziness proved just how convincing the show's portrayal of the vineyard lifestyle was. The mansion and grounds looked so enchanting on screen that fans wanted to step right into that world. It was both a testament to the show's allure and a headache for the real-life vineyard staff who were left playing bouncers for fictional drama. Next, number 9. Jane Wyman's on-screen coma wasn't all acting. If you've been watching this video from the beginning with full attention, you do remember what I said in number 13, don't you? If yes, now this fact must have caused a raised eyebrow behind your screens and your minds must be filled with a lot of questions right now, I suppose. Do not worry, my dear, I've got answers. When Angela Channing slipped into a coma in Falcon Crest's 9th season, audiences thought it was just another twist in the show's never-ending vineyard drama and that nothing could go wrong on set. However, behind the scenes, Jane Wyman was already facing health problems that made the demanding schedule harder to manage. As said earlier, she also disliked the creative direction the writers and new producers were taking and reportedly asked to be released from her contract, but the producers refused. The compromise was very clever. Her character would be placed in a coma, allowing Jane to take a break without officially leaving the show. Scenes could still feature her presence, but she did not have to endure the long hours or intense filming. Off-screen, it was a way to keep one of the show's most essential characters intact while giving the actress time to recover. For viewers, it added suspense. Everyone wondered when Angela would wake up, unaware that the story was shaped by real-life events. When CBS announced the show's cancellation, Wyman returned for the final 3 episodes to close Angela's arc, despite rumors and speculations by fans that her coma would be her quiet exit, not just from the show, but from the land of the living. After recovery, Wyman was determined to give Angela's character a fitting farewell, blending the resilience of the actress with the iron will of the character she played, and she did. In many ways, Angela's coma became more than a plot device. It was a quiet nod to the strength and determination of the woman behind the role. Thank goodness she came back. Number 8. From actor to travel writer. Lorenzo was indeed one lucky Lance character. In an unexpected twist and with determination in his heart, he gracefully transitioned from playing vineyard heirs and starring with Angela Channing to packing a suitcase and writing about faraway places. Doesn't that sound incredible? Fans knew him as Lance Cumpson, the charming but often troublemaking grandson who could ride a horse, deliver a gruff smile, and cause a scandal before lunch. What they probably did not expect was that years later, he would trade the scripts for passports and become a travel writer, something they never saw coming. Lorenzo's passion for adventure was not merely for show. Exploring new places and meeting people from different cultures had always captivated him, even when he was behind the camera and spotlight. He therefore discovered a new method of telling stories after the drama in Tuscany Valley ended and the cameras stopped rolling. Instead of using pre-written lines, he used articles and photographs that captured the charms and peculiarities of actual places. Imagine Lance Cumpson writing about the best street food in Bangkok or sharing tips on avoiding tourist traps in Italy. It might sound unusual since you probably pictured him on set in the Falcon Crest show, but if you take a closer look at him, you'd agree that it was a perfect fit for his persona. He had the charm to connect with locals, the curiosity to dig deeper, and the flair to make even a rainy afternoon in Paris sound glamorous. And this golden opportunity had been his dream for a long time. Remarkably, Falcon Crest gave him fame, but travel writing gave him freedom, and in its own way just as much drama, only with fewer wine feuds. Next, number 7, the Iron Man of Falcon Crest. Long-running television programs may present images of actors joining and leaving as plots change. However, one actor on Falcon Crest turned out to be as stable as the Tuscany Valley's Vineyard Hills. David Selby, who played Richard Channing, became an Iron Man for the series. While other actors came and went or took breaks, Selby was there season after season to maintain Richard's combination of charm, cunning, and calculated moves. There was more to Richard Channing than merely a character. He played a key role in the power struggle and retaliation that characterized the series. Like the rows of grapevines on film, the writers delighted to give him schemes that twisted and twirled. The audience continued to watch, regardless of whether they loved or loathed him. Selby's dedication off-screen was impressive. He had to contend with tight filming deadlines, shifting screenplays, and the ongoing difficulty of maintaining the interest of a multifaceted character. Selby put in the effort to make Richard one of the most durable and nuanced characters on the program, even though many actors could have become bored with the part or looked for something different. Ultimately, it is hard to envision Falcon Crest's 9 seasons without Richard Channing's piercing smile and much more piercing intellect. The show's Iron Man David Selby lived up to his title admirably. Next, number 6, guest stars galore. Falcon Crest was quite popular and recognized for its drama, but it also became a hotspot for some impressive guest stars. Surprisingly, the show's vineyard set was like a magnet for big names who wanted to stop by for a few reasons. Now, let's not be too judgmental on this one, though. After all, the vineyard was a spectacle to behold, so why wouldn't celebrities, influencers, and the like want to stop by for a photo or a vlog? As time passed, actors like William Shatner, Loretta Swit, and even Sally Struthers made appearances, adding extra sparkle to the already juicy storylines. Resultantly, new conflicts, new energy, and a fresh storyline were introduced by these guest stars. From rivals fighting for control of the Falcon Crest empire to mysterious strangers with secrets, they played a variety of roles. Consequently, their visits left fans wondering who was next in line to take the Channing family by surprise. According to them, each episode felt like a unique occasion because of the appearance of familiar faces. Impressively, fans experienced the excitement of seeing well-known actors blend with the main cast, adding depth to the soap opera's already complex plot of romance, betrayal, and power struggles. It was almost as if Falcon Crest had its own weekly Hollywood party, with the guest stars serving as the VIPs. Uniquely, the guest appearances helped keep the drama fresh and reminded audiences why Falcon Crest was one of the hottest shows on TV. However, if we visited today, would the site be as impressive as we had heard and seen, or has everything changed? Well, there's only one way to find out, and I guess you know how. Next, number 5. The music got funky. You might expect a show about wine and family drama to have soft, classical music, not Falcon Crest. As the seasons went on, the soundtrack took some surprising turns that brought funky beats and catchy tunes right into the vineyards. The music evolved from traditional soap opera scores to include pop and funk songs that reflected the changing times. Sometimes it felt like you were watching a soap opera and a dance party all in one. The funky music gave scenes extra punch, making emotional moments feel lively and even adding a bit of humor. This unexpected mix of music styles helped the show stand out from other soaps. It wasn't just about the drama, it was about the vibe. Viewers could almost imagine Angela Channing tapping her foot to the beat while plotting her next move. The music choices brought energy and freshness to Falcon Crest. It showed the show was not afraid to break a few rules and have fun, even while dealing with all the high-stakes family drama. Next, number 4, dressing room drama. Behind the glamorous clothes and perfect hairstyles, there was plenty of drama happening off-camera in the Falcon Crest dressing rooms. When you have a large cast full of strong personalities, it is no surprise that tensions could flare between takes. Costume changes could take hours, and sometimes nerves got the better of the actors. Imagine waiting forever in a heavy gown or suit while trying to stay calm and focused. Add in the pressure to look perfect on camera, and the dressing room could feel like a battleground. There were stories of disagreements over who got the best dressing room, or even small arguments about costumes, but it was all part of the show's behind-the-scenes reality. Actors needed breaks and sometimes clashed when stressed. Despite the occasional flare-up, the dressing rooms were also places where friendships grew. The cast shared laughs, helped each other prepare, and bonded over the crazy schedules. The drama backstage was just another layer of the rich Falcon Crest story. Next, number 3. Pricey drama. Falcon Crest was not just about family fights and vineyard rivalries. It was also famous for its high production costs that reflected its luxurious setting. Filming in real locations, hiring big-name actors, and creating lavish sets added up to a pricey show. The sprawling mansion and beautiful vineyards on screen were real places that needed care and maintenance. Cameras and crews had to work around actual wine production schedules, which wasn't cheap or easy. Every episode showed a level of detail that cost serious money. Plus, the cast salaries grew as the show's popularity soared. When stars like Jane Wyman and Lorenzo Lamas demanded more pay, the budget had to stretch to keep them happy. The expensive costumes, elegant cars, and fancy wine glasses added even more to the tab. Despite the costs, producers believed the lavish look was key to keeping fans hooked. The money made the drama feel believable because the world of Falcon Crest looked truly rich and glamorous. It was a reminder that in TV land, sometimes you have to spend big to tell a big story. Next, number 2, the Hitchcockian wink. Falcon Crest was packed with twists and turns, but sometimes it threw in a nod to classic suspense that felt straight out of Alfred Hitchcock's playbook. The show loved sneaking in moments where tension built, slowly leaving viewers on edge before a big reveal. Think mysterious phone calls, shadowy figures lurking in hallways, and sudden secrets exposed at just the right moment. These Hitchcock-style scenes added an extra layer of thrill, making the soap feel more like a suspense drama. Angela Channing herself could be the star of a Hitchcock film with her calculating moves and sudden reversals. The show knew how to keep audiences guessing with clever setups and unexpected outcomes. Sometimes you would catch a character glancing nervously at a locked door or overhearing a whispered conversation, setting the stage for the next big plot twist. This style gave Falcon Crest a unique edge among soaps. It was not just about family feuds, but also suspense and mystery, keeping viewers glued to the screen episode after episode. Next, number 1, The Anti-Waltons. While Falcon Crest was a hit, it was often compared to another popular show of its time, The Waltons. But Falcon Crest was very much the anti-Walton. Instead of a wholesome, close-knit family in a simple setting, Falcon Crest was all about power struggles, secrets, and luxury set in a glamorous vineyard. The Waltons celebrated family values and small-town life with warmth and charm. Falcon Crest went in the opposite direction with scheming betrayals and high-stakes drama. Angela Channing was the queen of manipulation, a far cry from the kind-hearted parents on The Waltons. This contrast made Falcon Crest stand out to viewers who wanted their drama spiced up with a bit of danger and decadence. It asked questions about what families do to protect power and wealth, instead of just love and tradition. Do you think viewers preferred the cozy comforts of The Waltons, or were they drawn more to Falcon Crest's darker, more glamorous world? What does that say about the stories we choose to watch and why? And which of these facts almost blew your minds away? See you in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more engaging content. We look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye for now.